Fewer than 2% of the world's population has red hair, and every single one of them traces it back to the same ancient genetic mutation. One that didn't begin in Scotland, didn't begin in Ireland, and is far older than the Celts themselves. If you have red hair, what you're carrying isn't just a color. It's one of the rarest genetic signatures in the human genome, and its origin goes back further than any civilization history remembers by name. This is where it actually came from. Red hair comes from a gene called MC1R on chromosome 16. MC1R controls the balance between two types of melanin in your body: eumelanin, which produces brown and black pigmentation, and pheomelanin, which produces red and yellow. In most people, eumelanin dominates. In red-haired people, a variant in MC1R tips the balance toward pheomelanin. Red hair, pale skin, freckles, the whole package, all trace back to that single genetic switch. Here's what makes it unusual. MC1R red hair variants are recessive. Both parents need to carry the variant for a child to express red hair. One copy can travel silently through generations. In dark-haired people who have no visible trace of it, surfacing only when two carriers meet, which means red hair is far more widespread in the human gene pool than its 2% visible frequency suggests, and its actual origin is far older than most people have ever been told. For years, the assumption was simple: red hair is a Celtic trait. Scotland, Ireland, done. The genetic science tells a different story. The MC1R variants that produce red hair predate the Celtic peoples by tens of thousands of years. Ancient DNA from prehistoric remains across Europe and Western Asia shows these variants in population that lived long before any Celtic culture existed. And then there's this. In 2007, scientists extracted MC1R gene sequences from two Neanderthal specimens, one from Spain, one from Italy. What they found were variants that almost certainly produced red or reddish hair, Neanderthals. Walking Europe 300,000 years before modern humans arrived, carrying a version of the same gene that may be sitting in your hair follicles right now. This doesn't mean red-haired people are more Neanderthal than others. All non-African humans carry between 1 and 4% Neanderthal DNA, regardless of hair color. But it does mean the genetic machinery behind red hair is ancient beyond comprehension, older than Scotland, older than Ireland, older than any civilization history has a name for. So how did red hair end up concentrated in northwestern Europe? 5,000 years ago, a group of semi-nomadic pastoralists from the grasslands north of the Black Sea, the Yamnaya, began moving westward into Europe in one of the most dramatic population expansions in human prehistory. They carried horses, bronze weapons, and a warrior culture powerful enough to genetically replace the existing farming populations across large areas of northern and western Europe within a few generations. Ancient DNA from Yamnaya skeletal remains shows the MC1R red hair variants present in their population, sometimes at higher rates than in modern Europeans. As they spread west, they carried those variants with them. Their descendants became the Celts of Western Europe, moving through the British Isles, Gaul, and Iberia. And as those populations settled at the far western edge of the continent, the red hair gene concentrated there, piling up at the end of the migration trail with nowhere further west to go. Scotland, Ireland, Wales, Brittany, the westernmost edge of the ancient world, the end of the road, and the place where red hair accumulated more densely than anywhere else on Earth. Scotland has the highest concentration of red hair in the world, around 13%. Ireland runs close at 10%. Two reasons explain this concentration. First, the migration history. The Celtic and Bell Beaker populations who settled in northwestern Europe carried the MC1R variants in high frequencies, and these islands were their final destination, with no land mass beyond them to absorb further migration. Second, relative isolation. Unlike continental Europe, where populations mixed continuously across open land borders. Scotland and Ireland maintained greater genetic continuity with their Bronze Age founding populations. The genes that arrived stayed, concentrated over generations without significant dilution. Red hair is, in the most literal sense, a map of where the ancient steppe migration ended its journey west. Scotland and Ireland are where it stopped. The ancient Celts didn't treat red hair as ordinary. Greek and Roman writers consistently noted it as one of the most distinctive traits of Celtic and Germanic tribes. Julius Caesar mentioned it among the Gauls. Tacitus used it to describe the Caledonians, ancestors of the Highland Scots. In Irish mythology, red hair marked the otherworldly, the Tuatha De Danann, the divine race who inhabited Ireland before the Gaels, were depicted as flame-haired. The Morrigan, warrior goddess of death and fate, had red hair. Cuchulain's hair was described in specific detail. Dark at the roots, red gold at the tips. Red hair wasn't just a physical trait to these people. It was a signal, a marker of power, of descent from something ancient and fierce. Your ancestors may have looked at red hair and seen something sacred. There is a darker chapter. During the medieval period in Europe, red hair became associated with witchcraft, moral deviance, and demonic connection. Judas Iscariot was almost universally depicted with red hair in medieval painting, a deliberate artistic choice that embedded the association across generations. During the witch trial hysteria of the 16th and 17th centuries, red hair was cited in some regional traditions as physical evidence of a pact with the devil. In Scotland, where it was statistically common, this created a particularly cruel paradox. The very people most likely to carry the ancient Celtic genetic signature became the most visible targets. The mechanism is worth naming plainly. Red hair made people visible, and in times of fear, visible minorities become targets. The same trait that once marked a warrior class as powerful and otherworldly was reframed by a different culture with different fears as something sinister. The hair didn't change. The story told about it did. If you have red hair, you probably spent your whole life being asked about it. Now you know why it follows you. Because it has always followed people like you across ice ages, migrations, and 10,000 years of human movement. Through warrior cultures that revered it and fearful centuries that tried to make it shameful, it survived all of it, and it arrived in you. That is not a coincidence. That is a bloodline that refused to disappear. Subscribe. See ya.